So, lads, the Jimmy Butler situation is getting even crazier. And I didn't even think that was possible. And if you guys don't know what I mean by this, like, they're now talking about why Jimmy Butler was so upset with the Miami Heat. Was it because, like, it is basically Jimmy Butler, Jimmy Butler is looking real bad. He's looking real bad, and I'm not going to lie, I think the Heat are putting this stuff out to make sure Jimmy Butler looks real bad. But Jimmy Butler has been refusing to fly with the team. Like, it even got so bad that Kyle Lowry, one of his friends, was frustrated. Supposedly, Jimmy was skipping shoot-arounds when he was on the team, and he requested to fly privately away from his teammates. I've read that he stayed in different hotels than his teammates. Sources say even Larry, who remains as close away from the court as anyone to Jimmy, gradually grew fatigued by his teammates' headstrong tendencies on the floor. Currently in his second season with his hometown Sixers, Larry declined to comment last week when an interview was requested. Now it's Pat Riley's front office that has shown will no longer tolerate Butler's freestyling, announcing that he's been suspended for conduct detrimental to the team. Among Butler's transgressions, according to league sources, have been multiple instances of him skipping out on shoot-arounds altogether and insisting on flying privately away from the team's charter. And not only that, like, that's one thing, like, that's just diva behavior. Like, it's funny, Jimmy Butler seems to be the opposite of what everyone said. But if you guys haven't heard, supposedly the glue keeping this all together was Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Genuinely, supposedly, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, and Jimmy Butler, or saying Caleb Martin, those are Butler's guys, said a source familiar with the Heat's thinking. Several people knew this addition to Heat well, cited Strus' instrumental figure in keeping Butler steady within a greater team dynamic. And supposedly as well, like, Gabe Vincent just played dominoes with him a lot. But I'm sorry, like, supposedly what Jimmy Butler wanted was, he wanted all of his friends to get overpaid. And by the way, we've seen Caleb Martin with the Sixers, not a good free agent signing. We've seen how bad Gabe Vincent has been with the Lakers. In fairness, Max Strus has been pretty good with the Cavs. He's one that maybe he probably should have kept. The other two, it's fine letting them go because they are just players that looked good because of Heat culture. And the reality is he wanted all of his friends to be paid, and he wanted them to trade for a superstar, which means he wanted Hero gone. He wanted Jovic gone. He wanted Jaquez gone. He wanted all of their picks gone. That is what Jimmy Butler wanted. Jimmy Butler wanted to be extended. He wanted basically what's happening with Kevin Durant in Phoenix. He wanted to be extended through till he's damn 40 and for the team to mortgage their future to make sure that he has the best chance of winning right now. Instead of doing what a good team should do. Doing what genuinely a good team should do and try to prepare for the present and the future. Put together as competitive a team as possible and not mortgage their future. Not destroy any semblance of a future. Because the Phoenix Suns are going to go into NBA purgatory very soon. They are going to be a disaster of a franchise because of decisions they've made. It's really difficult. And the Heat have a lot of assets. And the Heat are good. That's the worst part, is the Heat are good. If Jimmy Butler shows up and is Jimmy Butler and plays like Jimmy Butler can play, the Miami Heat are going to be a real freaking good team. And if you agree with that, subscribe. We're trying to hit 8,950 by the end of the day. But it's just getting really weird. It's getting really weird around them because you're seeing just how it just looks like he is almost like he's exactly how he was described in Minnesota for his team as being a teammate. He doesn't seem to like playing with young players. That's one thing. He doesn't seem to like playing with young players at all. And it shows that when Jimmy Butler doesn't get his way, he's just going to try sink a ship with him, just like he did in Minnesota. He's going to try tear it down, and it's just really not looking good for him. And it's mad though, because every single day things are getting worse. Supposedly nobody knows what Miami want, and there is still a possibility of him going to Phoenix. But it's a mad out situation. And the fact that he wasn't showing up to practices, and then he's trying to pull a James Harden. And then obviously he's looking likely to stay with Miami. This whole situation is just getting weirder and weirder. And I was going to say by the day, but at this stage, it's by the freaking hour. It's by the hour this is getting weirder. And Miami are not going to lose this. They're not. Miami don't lose. As well as this, obviously, this situation is happening as well, not really basketball related. That can't be helping him. And while he's doing that, he's there. He's now, during his suspension, out there like shooting around with Satu Sabali. He's at Unrivaled working out with the WNBA players. So I'm like whatever about that. Like, he is, like, I don't even know what, I don't know what he's doing. I mean that, like, I actually have no idea at all what Jimmy Butler is doing, what his plans are, what his end goal is, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, surely his end goals is to, get out of Miami and maybe win a championship. It doesn't seem like he cares about winning. If his end goal is money, he could have gone about this a better way by just showing up to work, playing, putting in the trade request, and maybe they could have freaking gotten something for him. But now the Heat can't get anything they want because Jimmy Butler is shown that, if he doesn't want to be there again, he will just quit on your team. So why would any team other than the idiot that is Matt Ishbia, sign Jimmy Butler? Because it's like, well, to be fair, he only just wants to go to Phoenix. But it's now a situation where the Phoenix Suns are going to have to give up all their picks. And you've got Bradley Beal having to go somewhere. And maybe somewhere like Milwaukee will take Bradley Beal. But that would mean the Heat will have to take like Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis. I don't even know if the Heat want that. Like, it's such a messy situation. And like I said it. If you want to look at some of the videos on this channel from about a month ago, was it? No, it was about like 10th of December-ish. So it was like right before I started to like kind of get sick over the Christmas break. So like just over a month ago, there were a bunch of things about Jimmy Butler where it's like the Heat are trading Jimmy Butler. And I'm in a hotel room in freaking England. And I'm saying this, and I say this now, Jimmy Butler might be the fourth best player in Heat history. And it's like he updates everyone on his future plans. Like, in these videos, I'm literally saying, like, look, Jimmy Butler is, he's a legend, but you better believe Jimmy Butler is going to make this as messy a divorce as possible. And that's just the reality situation, is that Jimmy Butler literally will make sure that he makes every single mess or divorce as messy as possible. And it's worked so far. He's gotten what he's wanted every time in his career. This is the one time I don't think Jimmy Butler is going to get what he wanted, because no matter how petty Jimmy Butler is, he's coming up against the last actual GM who is like rightfully so being like, no, I make the calls, not you, in Pat Riley. And yeah, not looking great now, is it? And just like with LeBron, who was going to leave anyway, LeBron was going back to Cleveland no matter what, when he refused to mortgage their future and sack Spoelstra for LeBron. Just like he refused to give Dwayne Wade a max contract when Dwayne Wade got bought out 12 months later by the Chicago Bulls. He's going to make the right call again, because Pat Riley is, love him or hate him, he's the freaking best at what he does. Especially for long term. Like, the Heat have been the best team in the NBA over the last 20 years. So anyway, I'll see you guys.